Stop scratching on the cat scratching post. Hi fans of high quality entertainment. This is an idea I thought up in my head. I might have even done this before. I don't think I have. Maybe I did. I don't know. But I've put together, and this isn't a top 10 list or anything. It's just some albums I've thought of. Many, I've listened to a lot of music through the years. So I'm doing 10 albums where it was a great album and it was followed by another great album or even a better album. And also 10 albums where it was a great album and it was followed by an album that was disappointing. And if I had the time, I'd have a picture of each album, but I don't have the time, okay? So here we go. And I would love your thoughts, of course, in the comment section below, and list some of the albums that you thought were disappointing or were great follow-ups. So, great follow-ups to great albums, 10, in no order. Talking Heads 77, followed by more songs about buildings and food. I think they're pretty even. They're both great. Led Zeppelin 1 and Led Zeppelin 2. I did a poll in my community a couple of days ago, and I asked which of those two, if you had to choose, which of those two is your favorite? And because I don't know, they're just both great. But I think Led Zeppelin 1 had a little, more people chose that as the favorite than Led Zeppelin 2, but Led Zeppelin 2 still got quite a few votes. So those are pretty even, but they're both, both great albums. Sparks' Kimono My House was followed by another great album, Propaganda. Yes, Fragile was followed by, and I think most fans would say an even better album. And I guess I would agree, although they're both great albums. Followed by Close to the Edge, Down by the River. Now, some of you might disagree with this one. Fleetwood Mac Rumors, followed by the double album Tusk. Disappointing for some, but I think I love it more than Rumor. Well, I don't know. I mean, Rumors is just incredible, but so is Tusk, so I guess they are even. Grand Funk Railroad, I think I've mentioned them a few times. Closer to Home, followed by Survival. But that being said, for many, many, many years, I was disappointed. I thought Survival was just mediocre at best. But now, I think it's better than Closer to Home. Just wait, you young people out there that are like in your 20s and you have an album that you love and it's followed by another album and you don't care for it as much. In the future, you might like it more. So be patient. And, give it a listen once in a blue moon. Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon, followed by Wish You Were Here. Definitely for me, Dark Side of the Moon is better. But that being said, Wish You Were Here was still a great follow-up. I mean, how can you follow The Dark Side of the Moon, right? I think they did as best as they could, and Wish You Were Here is still a great album. It was not disappointing. Maybe on first listen it was, but Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, or just Frank Zappa. Overnight Sensation, followed by Apostrophe, 2 great albums in a row. Of the two, I prefer Overnight Sensation, but still, Apostrophe was a great album that wasn't disappointing. Elvis Costello, My Aim Is True. That was a great debut album, and he topped it. Yes, he topped it with This Year's Model. And then, number 10, not in order though, David Bowie. I could choose many albums by him, but I chose Station to Station. I think I got this right, followed by Low, or the other way around. I think, yeah, Station to Station, which is incredible, followed by Low, although I never heard them back in the day much. It's just in the last couple of months I've really appreciated David Bowie, and both are superb albums. I might, once again, I might prefer Station to Station if I had to pick, but Low is still a great, great follow-up. Now, for follow-up albums to superb albums that were either disappointing or they just plain sucked. The one that always comes to my mind is the debut album by The Pretenders, which I absolutely love. It's one of my all-time favorite debuts. And then, so I was all excited to buy Pretenders 2, and I was really disappointed. Everything, the songs, the production, it sounded really murky. And it's funny, at the time I was thinking, this almost sounds like they were, not that I knew anything much about drugs, it's almost like they're doing cocaine in the studio and, whatever. And, of course, two of the members sadly passed away from drugs soon after. Black Sabbath, Sabotage, followed by Technical Ecstasy. It's not a bad album, but for me it was a disappointing follow-up. Sparks, yes, even one of my favorite bands of all time, Sparks, has let me down. Number 1 in Heaven, followed by Terminal Jive, Terminal Crap. It's a good album, but nowhere near Number 1 in Heaven. Deep Purple, Machine Head. I think most, not all, most Deep Purple fans would be a bit disappointed with the follow-up, Who Do You Think We Are? Although My Woman from Tokyo is one of the greatest Deep Purple songs. Bob Dylan. That's right, Slow Train Coming, one of my all-time favorite albums. So I was really looking forward to his follow-up album, Saved. And for me, it sucked. Led Zeppelin. They're in both, as Sparks is. Presence. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite Led Zeppelin albums, but I still loved it. And the follow-up, In Through the Outdoor, was disappointing. It's a good album, don't get me wrong, but it was just pretty disappointing. Wings, Londontown. I was actually not impressed with it on first or second listen. I thought, oh, Paul, me and my friend, who was a big Paul McCartney fan too, we were both disappointed. We were, expecting more, Junior's Farm kind of rocking songs, and it's like soft pop. But that being said, after a few listens, I absolutely loved it, and it's one of my favorite Paul McCartney solo or Wings albums. But the follow-up, Back to the Egg, is good, but it was disappointing for me. Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love, once again, one of my all-time favorite albums. And then he followed it up with 2 albums released. 2 separate albums on one day. Human Touch and Lucky Town, which I never really cared for. So that was a disappointment. I used to be a big U2 fan. I could almost change this, but I won't. Zooropa was very good. Not as good as Octong Baby, but I chose a much more disappointing. Like Zooropa wasn't really disappointing because, they were experimenting more and all that, and I still enjoyed it. But the follow-up, Pop, was a flop. I rhymed that. And one of the most disappointing follow-up albums I've ever heard. Although I did like Discotheque and the video, I thought it was hilarious. And finally, ZZ Top, Eliminator. Once again, one of the greatest albums for me of all time. Followed by Afterburner, which was kind of samey. But that being said, it's not like it sucked or anything. It was still excellent. Like, it's just, once again, it's hard to follow up a superb album like Eliminator. And Afterburner, they did a great job on it. I still love the album, but it was still, that being said, a disappointment. So that's my thoughts. I'd love your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Have a greater day. Bye. Good girl, not scratching on the cat scratching post.